right here. Hello everyone and welcome to Live Art Mini. I'm Stephen Smith coming to you from InsideOut Studio, and I'm here with Miss Morgan Gattemeyer today. She's going to kick things off for us. We've got a special year-end Live Art Mini. We're celebrating all things 2020 and looking forward to the new year. Talking about everyone's hopes and dreams coming up for what 2021 offers. So I'm going to turn it over to Morgan here. Morgan, what are your hopes and dreams for next year?
Stephen, my hopes and dreams for 2021 are to have a job, stay healthy, which is a big one, and hopefully have things start going semi back to normal. Those are my big hopes and dreams. My birthday's also in January, so I get to kick off the new year with my birthday.
Awesome. How old are you going to be 2021?
28.
Woo! Congratulations.
Getting up there in age.
Awesome.
And today I am making a champagne glass as a celebratory 2020 sun catcher.
Awesome. So I just wanted to touch on employment too, because I know that you've had some jobs here seasonally. Just let everyone know that InsideOut Studio is a vocational habilitation program. So our artists that come here are not only making art that they can sell and earn income from, but they're also doing things like advocating for yourself, doing public speaking through Live Art Mini, and also learning skills like answering phones, and haven't had as much opportunity because of COVID in terms of our artists being in the storefront. But they can learn a lot more than just making art when they're coming here to hopefully get employment elsewhere in the future too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tell us about some of your jobs you've had in the community.
Well, I got to work with Kohl's. I'm still at Kohl's. I got hired there seasonally, and I am the greeter, so I get to say hello and welcome to Kohl's. A lot of times people will come in saying that they got an article of clothing and the tags, the metal magnet tag is still on it, so I get to take that off. Or tell them where Amazon drop-offs are, or Kohl's drop-offs, or Kohl's pickup, which is the same place that an Amazon drop-off would be. So it's interesting to know that being greeter is a lot more than just saying hi and goodbye to people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you are a perfect fit for that job based on your personality, outgoing energy. So awesome. Well, I give you the best wishes for employment in the new year.
Well, thank you.
We do have a viewer out there, Andrea Banks, says hello to you.
Well, hello, Andrea. Thank you for joining our Live Art Mini today.
We've also got some of our Inside Out artists watching online as well. So hello to Kathleen and hello to Devin. Thanks for joining us today. Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. So we're also going to say a big hello to Sherry Armstead and Symmetry Gallery and Boutique, who's been our season-long, year-long sponsor for Live Art Mini, making sure that we've been able to bring this show to you every week. And thank you to Sherry Armstead and Symmetry Boutique. I also want to share the return policy there. So if you've got anything and you want to take it back, you can check out the information. Also check out their Facebook page, Symmetry Gallery and Boutique on Facebook. So big thank you to Sherry Armstead and Symmetry. So like Morgan said, we're doing some very, very festive New Year sun catchers. So what have you prepared, or what has been prepared for you today?
A champagne glass has been prepared for me, and in preparation, I am going to cut out the champagne part of my champagne glass.
Champagne sun catcher. All right, so let's switch to the creative cam. It's going to be an overhead shot. That way people can see all of your materials and you can show off some of your glass cutting skills.
Okay, so here is the piece of glass that I'm going to be cutting, and we have traced the shape that I'm going to be cutting out in marker. We use a water-based marker so that when it's in the kiln, if there's any marker left on it, it'll get burnt off when it's in the kiln. I'm gonna go in with my scoring tool. And that's the noise you want to hear when you're using the scoring tool. That means that the glass has been scraped.
Nails on the chalkboard.
Nails on a chalkboard, which is what you want. It's the one time that's a good sound. And then I'm going to go in with my runners and I'm going to line up the line on the runner with the line on the glass and just squeeze gently.
And Morgan is working with, it's called iridescent amber. So it has a nice little sheen to the surface. It's hard to see, obviously, from our camera right now, but when this gets fired in the kiln, it's going to have a slightly rainbow effect to it when light reflects off the surface after it's been fired. And Morgan makes the rounded cuts as well. Those are a little bit more difficult. Those are going to be freehand cuts. And you can't get too adventurous with the curved cuts. You just want a slight curve to make the glass snap.
That didn't work out as well as I thought it would.
It's all good. Remember, as you remind me, there's no such thing as perfect.
There's no such thing as perfect.
We've got Dwayne Sparks watching out there. So hello to Dwayne.
Hello, Dwayne.
I might have thrown you off with big hello to Dwayne.
It's okay. No such thing as perfect. Let's just try again.
There's always more glass if we need it. Very good.
And then these are my chipping tools that I'm going to use now to get rid of the harsh point that I have.
Yep, and those, if anyone's ever done tile work at home, those should look familiar because they're also tile nippers. If you've ever done any backsplashes in the kitchen or work in the bathroom. Very good.
My
very good.
champagne.
Yep, we can hold it against this white tray here. That way people can see it a little bit easier at home. Very cool. So we've got lots of pieces. And then Morgan's going to start putting her champagne glass sun catcher together for everybody.
And I'm going to be using a watered down glue. Again, water-based is the most important thing for when you're working with fusing glass, because when it goes into the kiln, it'll evaporate. So all you'll be left with is your glass.
Morgan, I was thinking, might just switch you out for a color tray. Since we're working with clear, it might be easier to see that glass with a darker backdrop.
Okay.
So we're just transferring the pieces over. So we've got your champagne glass stem, which Morgan's gluing one piece onto the other.
And it's important also when you're making fused glass to have 2 layers of glass.
Yeah, the glass comes in, here I'm going to get art nerdy for you. So glass comes in 3mm sheets, and glass when it fuses naturally wants to be 6mm. So that's what we're shooting for, is 2 layers of glass put together, and that will keep its shape. If we got too thin, let's say if we just put like a single sheet of glass in by itself, that glass would actually shrink in on itself, trying to move towards the center. So that's why we always want to use 2 layers to keep the true to form of what we're putting together. So that blue background's working nice.
Yes.
Especially with the white glue in there too. People can see it a little bit easier.
And then I'm gonna take the base of my champagne glass, and it's gonna go at the bottom. Now, am I gluing this like at the bottom?
I'd say it's easiest when it goes in the kiln if we could just glue down
On top.
the stem to the top of the base and then to the top of the actual glass.
Okay, so I'm going to just like so.
Very good. So that just balances on there. And Elmer's glue is actually stronger than we think. Once that dries all the way, it stays pretty solid. That way we can just lift it off the tray and into the kiln for our artists.
And the second to last
Piece de resistance.
is our champagne. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue. Should I go on with this one?
Either one's fine. We got the pre-made
This
champagne.
is the pre-made piece.
Yep.
So
So that's our iridescent amber that has a nice rainbow-like sheen to it after it's been fired.
I'm making sure that the rainbow side is what is being face up. And then we don't have
Very
any.
good.
And then we have,
Ooh, so we've got our iridescent amber, which is going to have a nice champagne feel to it, but we're going to jazz things up. I think you've seen this if you've watched Live Art Mini before, but we have dichroic glass. So dichroic is where that surface is infused on the top to have the iridescent sheen to it. So when the light hits it, you also get that rainbow effect. Let's see if we can get some of that going for our camera. So Morgan's going to chip some pieces off.
because it's a champagne glass and there's champagne in there, and the best way to know that you're drinking good champagne is it's nice and bubbly. So our diacrylic is going to be the bubbles in our champagne.
Very nice.
So am I gonna,
So it's easiest just to,
or am I just chipping?
I'd say just like cut a strip off the edge, and then you
Okay.
can snip it, and then you can chip it with your chippers.
Nails on a chalkboard, again, that's the noise you want. And then I took off this little bit right here.
Very good.
And I'm gonna go in with my chippers. Give this back to me.
Thank you.
And then when you're chipping, it's important to cover so that you don't have glass flying all over the place. And then it kind of lands in your hand, and then you can put it on your tray or whatever surface you're working with.
Yeah, flying glass is never a good thing.
It's also important when you're working with glass to wear safety goggles if you're not wearing glasses. I wear glasses, so I don't have to worry about safety goggles, but one of the biggest priorities here is safety, if it's not the most important.
Very good.
I think that's enough for,
Yep.
so now I'm gonna go back in and I'm just gonna put a few little spots of glue. Texture side up, then you know that the diacrylic rainbow bits will shine through.
Awesome. That's gonna look nice.
And there's my champagne glass for 2020 celebration.
Very cool. Simple but effective. Just turn it around here for the camera. So we've got Morgan's champagne glass that she just put together. Some of our other artists that have been attending have also done a few examples. So here's one put together by Josephine Shell. So these are all pre-fired, have not gone into the kiln yet. I'll try not to break them as I'm lifting them up for everyone to see. Here's one done by Dwayne. So Dwayne, if you're still watching, we've got your champagne glass that you made last week. So we'll get these into the kiln. They'll be up in our storefront. And then let's switch back to our faces here. So speaking of our storefront, just to remind everyone, we are open today and tomorrow from 10 to 4. So if you didn't find what you were looking for, you can get what you're wanting on Christmas. You could always come in and get something from InsideOut. Or pop over to Symmetry Gallery, check their hours, grab something from Sherry. All right, so we are going to get rolling here. Here's my favorite part of Live Art Mini. We're on the move. We're going to go visit. Oh.
Bye.
I forgot. Is anyone you want to say hi to or bye to specifically?
Well, I just want to say hello and thank you to all of those who are watching today at our Live Art Mini. And a big thank you again to Symmetry for being our sponsor.
Awesome. I second that. All right, Miss Morgan, thank you so much for showing off your skills.
Thank you.
We're going to go see Allison. I'm still plugged in. All right, technical difficulties. I was still plugged in. And speaking of that, apologies for last week with our technical difficulties. We didn't get to showcase everything our artists were doing. But we are here now with Miss Allison Davis. Let me pull up your nameplate here. Bam. All right, Miss Allison, 2021 is right around the corner. What are your hopes and dreams for the new year?
My hopes and dreams, or my hope is that everybody stays healthy. My dream is just to keep making art.
Awesome. I think we can make that dream happen. So, got a great thing going on right now. So, Miss Allison, what are you making for us today for our celebratory sun catcher?
I'm making a margarita glass.
Yeah, all right. So, we're going to zoom in as much as we can here. So, Allison's putting together her margarita sun catcher. So as you can see, she's putting together her stem, very similar to Miss Morgan. So we always want to have 2 layers thick of glass. So we glue 2 sheets of clear to create the stem. And then we're going to stick that onto the base as well as the top. And Miss Devon's still watching out there. She let us know that she made a move and she's in her new spot. So we wish you well in your new home and all the best for the new year, Devon.
And I have a slice of lime to go with it.
Right, all the bells and whistles. So just changing the shape of the glass there. So margaritas, I think, come in a more of a triangular shape glass. We've got the classic green, and like Miss Allison said, she's got a little lime wedge at the top corner. Very cool. And like I said, these are all sun catchers, so they'll be attached with a wire that can hang from your window. Put them in the kitchen window, grab some of that light. So if you would, I'm going to grab your margarita right here. See if I can angle it up for everyone to see out there. Very nice. So when we put this into the kiln, we'll give some more background information too on the sun catchers. What we do is called a tack fuse or a contour fuse. That way the glass melts together but it still retains a lot of the shape and the texture to it. So it doesn't fully fuse into one flat piece of glass. So this is ideal, especially when we're doing representational imagery, such as a champagne glass, a margarita. Sometimes people like to do different cartoon characters or faces. So if you do a tack fuse or a contour fuse, you're firing it to a temperature where the glass attaches to each other, but it doesn't fully melt flat. So you always get those nice textures and details. But you knew that already, because you're a pro and you've been here. All right, is there anyone that you want to say hi to out there, Allison?
I just want to say hi to my mom and everybody that's watching.
All right, thank you. Thanks for sharing your project today. We're going to roll on down to Miss Nadia. So, we got a top secret commission going on right now that she's working on. So had to get that out of sight so no one could see it. We don't want to ruin a surprise. Miss Nadia, what are your hopes and dreams for 2021?
Freedom and happiness.
Freedom and happiness are great. That's awesome. And what did you choose to put together for our celebratory sun catcher?
A wine glass.
All right, we got a glass of wine going on here. So let me get you some glue and a brush. We can start putting that together.
I think she took my glue.
Okay, here.
Oh, it was on your top secret commission tray. So that is your glue right there. How long have you been with the studio, Miss Nadia?
Probably about 2 years.
2 years. Great. What's your favorite part about coming to Inside Out?
Making friends.
Awesome. You get to make friends, make art, listen to nice music, and dumb jokes from me. Right?
I wouldn't consider them dumb if you make people smile.
That's a good point. Makes me feel better.
It makes me feel good too.
Cool. All right, let's start putting together that wine glass. We're just going through the steps with everyone. You probably heard, we've already been talking about how glass needs to be 2 layers thick so it fuses properly in the kiln.
Oh, like this?
Yep. So we're just going to glue. So we'll start with the stem.
Oh, yeah.
Gluing.
I got 2 stems.
Gluing those 2 pieces
Glue
together.
this here.
Yeah, it seems redundant, but if we just put the glass in with one stem cut out like that, it would probably shrink up and even break because it's so thin. So that glass always wants to be 2 layers thick just to retain its shape. So we'll just put a second stem right on top of there. And as you're putting that together, I give a shout out to anyone watching today. Give us a like, give us a thumbs
Hi,
up.
Mom.
Big hello to Mom.
Yep.
Let us know you're watching out there. Feel free to ask questions or give some comments to our artist today. I got a big hello to Dave Glock that's watching out there. It says hi to Allison and Nadia.
You can't tell, but I'm smiling now.
I can smile too.
You got some big smiles coming your way, Dave.
So, I don't know if I did this right. So like this.
That looks good to me. There's a slight angle. I'm just going to show you this. Every piece is unique and different. There's a slight angle to our wine right there. So maybe we should fuse it on an angle so it looks like it's tipping, about to come out. Like you're taking a sip. So Kathleen, watching out there, says that Tennessee Valley Winery has the best wines.
Whoa!
I didn't know we had a wine connoisseur in the house.
Uh-oh. That's something I stay away from.
We're going to have a whole new live art menu next year with Kathleen.
Not for me. I'm sorry to say, but I'll be out of the room. That's something I stay away from.
To each their own, as long as everyone's being responsible.
Oh, true.
And Nadia, what's been your favorite thing you've made this year? Since we're wrapping up 2020,
I made coasters today, and I made Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Moltres from Pokemon.
Very cool. So you've got some very unique coasters that you've been doing with the designer liner on ceramic.
Yep.
And my sister-in-law actually got one of your star ornaments that you did with designer liner.
Oh.
We just gave it to her this past weekend. She loved it.
I gave some to my grandma too.
Nice.
Except I went to the ceramics place and I decorated them.
Hey, to each their own.
And I'm giving them to my grandma.
Very cool. So you're just creative across the board, making art here, making art there.
Yep. I go to the ceramics place and then I come here. I do art at home. But my main favorite at home is video games. I love Pokemon.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to give everyone a sneak peek. This is Nadia's wine glass going in. It looks like a white wine. We'll see if Kathleen approves. Very good. So that's going to go into the kiln. There will be a sun catcher in this upcoming year. So feel free to stop in and grab that. Any goodbyes you want to give?
Nope, just have fun.
All right, have fun. Let's roll on over here to Mark. All right, Mark, you have more of a, looks like a mosaic glass going on. So I'm going to give you a break. Mark's grabbing a quick drink. It's good to stay hydrated. All right, and so as you pull your mask up there, we can tell people what you're doing. So Mark's been working on this drawing, as you've seen in previous live art minis, and just give you a quick zoom in on what he's been putting together. Say he might have picked this offline in terms of an image to do. So our artists sometimes will draw off the top of their head. Sometimes they'll look online to grab an image, get some inspiration from some other materials, things that they find there. So he's doing a mosaic wine glass of some blues and turquoise. I love it. Those are some of my favorite colors. Anyone you want to say hi to today? Patty? All right. Very good. So Patty, if you're out there watching, or grab this later, hello from Mark Hodge. And speaking of that, you can always check out our previous live art minis on our YouTube channel. You can find that link in the comment section provided by Kim, who's working the boards for us. Yep. And if you're watching out there, hello to Pat and Kenny, some special friends back from Liberty Center. All right, last person today we're going to stop in with Miss Mallory Miller. Say hello.
I'm here.
Or is it Mallory Kardashian? I always forget. Any big messages, hopes, and dreams for 2021?
Better.
Be better. I think we all have that sentiment that 2021, we hope will be better than 2020. So some good things have happened this year though. We've been able to stay open, been able to keep making art. Thank you to the support from the community, everyone watching out there, all the businesses and individuals that have contributed to Inside Out Studio, as well as commissioned our artists to create artwork for you. So just a reminder that half of all sales go back to the artist directly. The other half goes back to our materials fund to keep the program running. So for the end of 2020, it's a big thank you from me on behalf of all the staff at Inside Out Studio, as well as all the artists at Inside Out Studio. Any closing words? No? Okay. All right. Let's end it with Terry. Terry, any closing words for 2021?
Happy New Year. See everybody next year.
All right, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you in 2021.